Getting a little closer to running this engine, but I've come across a few problems with the electrical side of things. Now this frame is a Ctx200 frame, and that engine, the Ctx200 engine, is different in the alternator stator than the COF230 engine which I've fitted into the frame. So the rectifier regulator for the Ctx200 is not compatible with the stator of this engine. So that's okay. I've put in a COF230 rectifier regulator unit. So it has three-phase AC in from the stator, and it has a ground and the red output. So that gives us a DC output voltage. Basically, it's a three-phase system. So to convert that over, you need to multiply it by about 1.3 to go from AC to DC on a three-phase system. I was getting about 6 volts or so there on the winding. Then three-phase, multiply that by root 3, which is 1.732, and then multiply that again by about 1.3, and I get up to about 15 volts or so. So that's going to be fine for my charging of my 12-volt battery. But the problem is with this is that the CDI unit that I bought for this bike is actually a CDI unit for a Ctx200, which is an AC CDI unit. I believe what I need is a DC CDI unit for this, because my output from my regulator rectifier is DC, and that is the source for the whole bike. So that DC is used to charge the battery, to run all of my electrics. If this was a fairly standard system with just an alternator, and sometimes they take one winding off just for the CDI unit, and then another winding goes up to the rectifier regulator to give them some DC for maybe their lighting circuit. But because this has got the three-phase system, it doesn't have that facility. All I have coming out of the stator housing is my three-phase AC wires, 3 yellows, and the pulse wire coming off my pulse pickup, and also a ground wire. So digging into the wiring diagram, down in here you'll see my stator, rectifier regulator, and solenoid system for my starting circuit, etc. So yeah, a little bit disappointed. I thought I'd have this engine running today, but yeah, just the AC CDI unit is just not compatible, and as soon as I put a connection onto it, it draws a high current, so I'm definitely not going to be doing that. Anyway, I've got a little bit further along with the starting system. Got my solenoid working. Spins over nicely. I've actually got it running off a car battery at the moment. Just hooked up onto my incoming, which is my incoming from my car battery is where the motorbike battery would normally connect, and then I just gone to the frame. So I thought I'd have a little bit more to report today on the progress of this bike, but no, sadly not. I've ordered a DC CDI unit, and I'll splice that in to my loom, doesn't require too much. I'll basically just instead of ruining everything here, I might just solder some little taps onto these plugs here so I can connect onto CDI. Although I've also seen online a fairly cheap Chinese wiring loom for the DC CDI. I'm just using a 4-pin CDI, DC CDI, so I might just buy that. They're only about $5. That'll save me hacking into this wiring loom. I don't really like hacking into the loom. It's a good loom. I'm hopeful that my coil will be compatible. If not, I do actually have a few of those tucked away. I can play around with those until I get one that's compatible. I've got a new spark plug, of course. So in the previous video I boxed the engine up and completely filled it with oil. Everything's okay in that line. Although I do see I've got a very slow weep of a leak from the gear shift shaft. So I'm going to have to flick that out and put a new seal in there. I guess it's been sitting a long time, and well, it's been a bit abused, this engine, so I'm not surprised really. It's a very small leak out of it, but still I have to sort that out. So getting a little bit closer, I've also got a broken stud in off there. I've got to break, the bolt must have broken off there. I've got to draw that out and re-tap that. There's just little things that are going to slow me down a little bit. But yeah, hopefully next weekend these parts will arrive during the week, and next weekend I'll be able to have the bike fired up. I haven't got the carburetor organised, but I've got a tin of Start Ya Bastard, and I'm going to squirt that in the inlet, and I'm sure that with the spark and with my spinning the engine over, I should get the engine to fire up. And once I've got that, I'll be pretty happy, and then I can concentrate on my inlet and my carburetor mounting. The airbox, see, this is a Ctx200 airbox arrangement that I have to match in with the CRF inlet and the CRF carburetor. So, you know, these are little challenges you have when you try to fit a different engine into a frame. It's not insurmountable, but just a pain at times. You get a little bit of progress, and then you sort of go back a bit as well. It's almost like 1 step forward and 2 steps back. But I'm pretty patient. I've got plenty of time to work on this. It's not it's nothing critical for my needs. It's just a little hobby, keep me busy, and when I've got a bit of spare time to work on the project. So yeah, it's ideal for that. I am looking forward to having it running. I have ordered the new seat cover. That should be here any day. Then I can fit the seat cover onto the old foam and base, fit the seat on, tank on, and all the covers will start shaping up again to being a reasonably decent looking bike. So thank you for your patience with this project. Oh yeah, I had to short out my clutch interlock, prevented it from actually engaging the starting solenoid. You've got two actually. You've got one down here for the neutral switch, and you've got the one up here for the clutch. It's a one or the other to ground that allows you to get a circuit to ground to energize the start solenoid. Of course, if you stall it and you're in gear, all you've got to do is pull on the clutch and hit the starter, and you'll be away again. Or if you're in neutral, you can also hit the starter, and it'll allow the starter to engage. So yeah, another little run with it. Okay, thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll have a bit more success in the next video.